According to T-Mobile, it's officially 6 o'clock, so we'll get started. Good evening and welcome to the September 15th meeting of the Oconee County Planning Commission. We're a recommending body to the Oconee Board of Commissioners. Decisions made tonight on rezoning requests and other issues will be forwarded to the BOC for final action. Tonight's agenda and sign-up sheets were out back, and looks like we've got that under control. The way we do things, the planning department's going to make a presentation of each application and their recommendations. We'll ask the applicant or the petitioner's representative to come up and give us any other insight to the project. Then we'll ask for public comment. Favor, we like to limit that to about 20 minutes if we have to. Input will then be received from anybody that's speaking in opposition. We'll limit that to 20 minutes. We'll ask the petitioner or the petitioner's representative for some follow-up questions if we have some of that 20 minutes left that might get some questions answered. Then we'll close the public input and bring it up to the commission for any other questions that they might have of the staff or the petitioner. And then once these guys get real quiet, I'll start looking for a motion. Need a second on any motion. We'll discuss the motion if necessary, and then we'll have a vote. These votes, as I said, will be passed up to the Board of Commissioners. We may elect to approve, modify, or place additional conditions on and or deny a motion. Upon or what we ask from you guys is for the benefit of anybody that might be watching online, especially to come up to the podium. Tell us who you are and where you live. Please direct your comments to the Planning Commission because you're trying to convince us, and then not to any audience members. And then if there are multiple speakers, you can say ditto to the last one and then point out anything that you want to add. We ask the audience to extend with courtesy by not applauding or commenting from their seats on any speakers. And with that, commissioners, you've got the minutes from the last July. We didn't meet in August. So were there any typos, corrections, or additions to the minutes necessary? All right, so I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes. I don't have any corrections. James? Go ahead. James has made the motion to approve. Sorry. Who's that? Kobe? All right. James Kobe. Everybody that wants to vote in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. Zero. Okay. And with that, Mr. Herring, will you bring us our first application?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, your first case this evening is rezone P25-0153, the landings of Bogart LLC, applicant and owner. The parcels are listed in your packet. They're currently zoned OIP in the Community Village character area. And it's a request to change the conditions of the previous zoning case, P20-0238, which was zoned it to OIP. And the requested change is to increase the allowed total square footage of all structures to 138,422 square feet. You have the concept plan in your application packet. Slightly larger version, if you can zoom in, would show the additional building they're proposing here. The original concept plan showed a building here, just not this square footage. So this is the requested action this evening. These are the architectural images of the existing building that's there now that would be adjacent to the proposed new structure. And staff recommends conditional approval with our 3 standard conditions. Number 4, all parcels which are part of this rezoning action shall be held in common ownership by a single entity, the Landing Senior Living LLC, which will also be the sole condominium declarant. The condominium plat and condominium declaration shall be amended to provide that the property is a part of a single owner comprehensive senior living community and that sale of individual units is strictly prohibited. Tax assessor shall merge all such parcels into a single tax parcel. Prior to application for the site development permit, the owner shall submit for review and to be recorded a recombination plat that abandons all existing condominium lines to combine the property into a single parcel. Number 5, total building square footage on the property shall not exceed 138,422 square feet. Thank you.
Right. Justin, yeah, looks like it's.
Yes,
your turn
sir.
today.
Justin Greer, Pittman and Greer Engineering, 1050 Barber Creek Drive. A little history on the project. It was zoned in '04 for B1 and OIP. They're originally going to do a car wash on the site and then do the office complex. I started working with Robert Massey in 2017, and we took the project through a zoning to go to OIP on it all for the senior living. In 21, they came back for a modification to convert some of those offices. 4 of those offices originally got built. They wanted to convert those offices and office pads into cottages, and you guys approved that in 21. On the original rezone we did in 17, we had 2 different buildings on that front. Can you go back? So we had 2 different buildings. Can you go to the enlarged one? So it was this building here, and they were not connected. You see the drive that went to the rear of the building. We originally had this sidewalk connecting kind of to a door here. Since Mr. Robert has built this facility, their programming and all their their room coordination, it really makes more sense to have these 2 buildings connected now. So what they're going to look at doing is you have the main commons area here. They're going to open up this breezeway, kind of rework the kitchen a little bit toward the rear. And so we're able to add some more kind of community gathering space, things like that. The room count will not change from that 2017 zoning. It stays at 96 beds overall, or there are 48 in this original building. There'll be 48 in this one. That's all I have. I'll be happy to answer any questions at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Right, I don't have anybody else signed up, and I don't see anybody in the audience, but I'll ask. Anybody need to speak in favor of this project? All right. I'll switch over and say, does anybody want to speak in opposition of the project? Again, if you're online, there are no others in the audience trying to get my attention, so I'm going to close the public comment and bring it up to the commissioners. Who wants to go first? Any questions? Right. As I said, when you guys get quiet, it's time for a motion of some sort. Any motion to approve with conditions? Mike, last time out. Second. And so all in favor, please raise your right hand. Yeah. Mr. Herring, you're up again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Your next case is rezone P250157 NIW Holdings LLC, applicant and owner. This is parcel B01050. It's currently zoned AG in the corridor commercial character area. And the rezone request is for 7 acres from AG to R1, single family residential district. This is the recorded plat in your application packet. The concept plan showing the proposed 4 lots. Slightly larger version. Architectural images submitted with the application packet. And staff recommends conditional approval with our 3 standard conditions. Thank you.
All right. Justin.
Again, Justin Greer, Pittman and Greer Engineering. Pretty simple request before you this evening. Taking the property to R1 just to do 4 lots. Across the road, there are some smaller lots that are zoned R1. I think they're less than an acre. We're, a little over than an acre and a half on most of them, or on all of them, actually. The lot 2 is a little larger because we have a little bit of bad soils. We have had a soil test done. So we kind of laid the lots out based on that soil test. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Yeah, and at this point, we would ordinarily ask for anybody want to speak in favor, but no one has signed up. And I don't see anybody trying to get my attention. And I will do the same for opposition. And again, no one's trying to reach me, so close the public comment and bring it up to the commissioners. I'll ask one question just so we don't go too fast. Justin, the pictures that were with the application, those are pretty close to each other type housing. Is that just to that size or bigger is what you might build there?
Correct. Yes, sir. I think my understanding is he wants to do some smaller housing just because of where it's located. I know two of the lots front on Atlanta Highway. So I don't anticipate they'd be really huge houses. He was kind of doing some more smaller, more affordable stuff there, anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 square feet.
Is he doing spec or is he doing custom?
Spec. It'd be spec homes. Yes, sir.
All right. Those were my only questions. Anybody else? Anybody? I'll look this direction this time. Anybody wanna make a motion? Make a motion. Oh, okay. Right, Steve. I'll go first for Need a second? Thank you. Good. All right, so, even if I've made a motion to approve with conditions, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Mr. Heron, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is special use P250150, William Terrell Mulkey, applicant and owner. This is parcel B 08025G. It's currently zoned AG in the agricultural preservation character area. The applicant is requesting a special use approval to add a manufactured home as a second dwelling on a property that has an existing site-built single-family home. The recorded plat you have in your application packet, the concept plan showing the proposed location of the additional structure, the architectural images of the proposed structure. And staff recommends conditional approval with our one standard condition, and then number two, the owner shall bring all structures into compliance prior to issuance of the building permit for the manufactured home. Thank you.
Gotcha. And I have Lindsay Cooper signed up to speak.
I'm Lindsay Cooper. We live at 1300 Sam Cooper Road with my husband, Justin Cooper. We are trying to apply for the special use permit for my parents to live with us so we can help take care of them and stay on the property,
Gotcha.
just due to health concerns, health reasons.
All righty.
Anything?
We'll call you back up if we have any other questions. All right, so once again, anybody listening online, Lindsay was the only one that signed up. I will ask if there's anybody else that wants to speak in favor. And I don't see anybody getting my attention, and I'll ask for opposition, and I don't see anybody. So we'll go ahead and close the public comment and bring it to the commissioners for any other questions. All right, any questions?
One question. Will this be going into this subject?
There will be separate subject.
All right. Just in case nobody heard that online, they are going to put a septic system in for the addition. All right. Let's have a motion, please. I have to do like a classroom and let me hear from somebody that I haven't heard from. Okay, Ann, go ahead. Okay, Ann's made a motion to approve with conditions. James has given me a second. Any questions, comments? And now vote with your right hand if you also approve. All right, thank you. And Mr. Herring, you're up again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Your next case is special use P250154, St. Allred Catholic Church. Applicant and owner, this is parcel A 07034, currently zoned A1 in the town of Bishop, in the country estates character area. And the applicant is requesting conditional use approval for a community scale church. You have the recorded plat in your application packet, as well as the proposed concept plan and architectural images. And staff recommends conditional approval with our two standard conditions. Number 3, at its expense, the owner shall make all right-of-way improvements and shall dedicate all rights of way which are required by state, GDOT, or town of Bishop after the state's and county's review of owners' development plans pursuant to the town's ordinances and regulations. All such improvements shall be shown on the preliminary site plan and site development plans for the project. No development permits shall be issued until the owner has agreed to such improvements and dedication. Number 4, as indicated in section 1707.3, a traffic study shall be completed and submitted for review to the Planning and Public Works prior to application for a site development plan. At the owner's expense, road improvements shall be made to bring the adjacent roads and access drives up to a level of service C. And number 5, unless approved by the concurrent variance application, the site shall not have any access to Cemetery Road. If the variance is approved, the owner shall file for review an amended administrative plat with Oconee County Planning to remove the non-access easement by recording a new plat. Thank you.
Thank you. And Justin, you must have been the only one open this summer, huh?
That's me. Yes, sir. Only one working. I appreciate it. We've been working with St. Allred's Church. Kind of wanted to point out in consulting them and talking with them, told them what we need to do is really take a look at this property and let's do an overall master plan, something that's probably 20, 30 years out. All right. So what you see on here is kind of that would be their ultimate goal in 30 years probably would be to grow to this level. What I anticipate, so part of that design and planning, we do have a church, a hall building for meeting and gathering, an academy, which is basically a small school, catechist building, which is basically Sunday school classrooms, various gardens. There's an office, a rectory if parishioners live there, and then also kind of a maintenance building. So we wanted to look at all elements so we wouldn't keep, as they add elements, wouldn't have to come back before you on every time they would look at doing that. I anticipate starting out, they would build the hall building first, and that would kind of serve as we have church services and then also a fellowship hall, and then probably the church would be second, and then kind of grow out from there. And looking at that, the academy, I think it's probably a shock to some people. Right now, they would have 5 to 10 students, maybe 3 days a week, working, meeting as a co-op, and then their goal is if it ever grows, to have a bigger building. That's kind of long-term plan. Nothing that would be kind of right out of the gate, and it may never grow to that. But we wanted to say, hey, look, let's look at it. What could be put on here? Let's look at the septic system. So we had soils done. We tried to plan around these different areas for septic and drain field. How do we look at this septic field as you grow? So let's make sure we have enough room now, and as you add on these elements to make that system grow. We've been working diligently with the property owner next door. I know she's given some access. That's why you see a little access easement there. She owned this property here. Kind of main access primarily will be through there by the Dollar General to use that existing road. And then the future access, there's one kind of to the west on Highway 186. That would be at a different later phase. That wouldn't be out the gate either. We've also showed Cemetery Road access. And per the City of Bishop, when they split this lot up, it does have a 10-foot buffer and no access easement along Cemetery Road. Bishop Code is it's something I've never seen, is when you divide the property, it could only have a single frontage, so they had to put that there so it's not a double frontage lot. And it's supposed to be for residential. It's not anticipated for commercial, and it says that the town of Bishop can give us a variance if they so choose. So we understand we may not get that as we move forward in the process, but we are going to request that, and it's running concurrent, so they'll see it at the same time they see the zoning. That's about all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Gotcha. Again, Justin was the only one signed up to speak in favor, but I'll ask if anybody feels they need to speak. And then I'll also ask if anybody wants to speak in opposition. And for anybody that can't see the back of the room, there are no other persons to speak. So I will close the comment. It's too bad we don't have Lisa here to give us the Bishop version, but I'm sure she could trust us to make decisions on their behalf. All right, any questions from the Planning Commission?
That's my biggest concern there.
So
Yeah.
we did not do a traffic study. We know it is required. One reason we didn't do that, because the summer school was out, we met the deadline, the counts wouldn't have been correct anyway. So wanted to kind of wait, push it to site development plans.
The church has been meeting at the building in downtown Bishop. What was the sort of congregation size at that time?
Yeah, they were in the community center. I believe that's where yeah, they
Oh,
were,
they
they
are,
were in
yeah.
the community center.
Right.
It was between 1 and 200
Yeah.
meeting
And
there.
so they were right off of 441 and parked on either side of the road, and it seemed to work okay. Yeah, that 186 and 441 is too popular. I get Nexels daily from there, but
Yeah, and I think most of that would probably be, we would, our conflicting times would not be the same as like school traffic is probably the worst time for that. We would not have really conflicts with that.
by the time that campus gets built out, we'll either have a roundabout or we'll have to bypass whatever.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I'll first say, I love it. I live down.
Yeah.
I've seen people did bad intersection, they're driving by that. And so you think about family, kids and all that. Is there a way to put some type of condition that based on traffic count, whatever? I don't know, that's an option at this point. Some traffic.
Well, since 441 is involved, we don't have control over it. Now, I guess 186, we might have possibility, but the best we can do is flashing light at, on 186 to tell people, or have a 25, 30 mile an hour first section or whatever.
But 186 is also GDOT.
Okay, so anyway, but they've been meeting on 441. Yeah, as that campus built out, it'll be an issue, but hopefully GDOT will get their act. Any other questions, concerns? I had a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sam. I was a little bit surprised about the parking, so if they are successful with roads and such, are you gonna landlock parking? Or that parking, see the table here. Talk about that.
Yes, so parking, we anticipate that again, if the academy grows and the church grows, those two things would not overlap at the same time. So they'd be used at different times. So we didn't want to try to plan too much, but we do have some room that we can expand kind of to the south. And if we had to move the maintenance building around, to add a little parking there also. And then the pond areas is just a guess right now. We haven't gone through full engineering plan. So I usually try to make that larger than I really need. So in case I don't want to end up with less space to put a pond. So that's a little larger than what we may need moving forward. So we can maybe use a little bit of that for additional parking.
Earlier, when there was talk of a subdivision going right there, it was not very attractive either, so, this, for those of us that live down that way, this is better use, any way you figure it. All right, so with that, or commentary, I will start, looking for a motion.
Move we approve with,
Please.
with F conditions.
Second. Ethan and Chris, first and second. Any other comment necessary? All right, and let's vote with the right hand. That's unanimous. Thank you. All right, we have one other item on, it's that time of year. Those in the audience, you can stick around, but I need to form a committee to look at officers. I don't know how much movement. We're gonna have one new person. Mike is stepping up. This be his last meeting of 20 years. So we'll have a new person, but we need a committee to decide on a chairman and a vice chairman. And I haven't given Nathan much opportunity to take the podium. Renewal. And who would like to be on the election committee? You have to see if anybody else has interest. Need to the vote next month. We just pondered this for 1 month and then we vote next meeting. I need a committee, 2, I think is what we usually do. Who's done it before? Let me ask that. Would you recommend? Sure, do it.
I highly recommend.
The other possibility is like a church committee.
Exactly. The benefits outweigh the cost.
Because he can control who gets on. If you don't want to be elected, then you should get on the committee. No, all right. I need 2 people. I'll just ask them all. Okay, Chris is gonna hit it up. We got 1 experience, so I hit it. One with experience.
I was promoted.
One with experience, and who else? Didn't really get involved with it?
No, I think I'm gonna recommend. That's a good base. I think it would be a
It took a couple of emails, I think, last night. Chris and Colby will be our committee appointees, and it will, I think with the group email, if you have any interest, you can find their emails and send it.
Or Steve, one of us before you leave today. I think you're more efficient.
And, I guess then we are left only with the adjournment motion. Who would like to take a motion on the adjournment? I already told Mike I didn't have time to make a cake, so I guess put him. And who would like to go second? Who would like to go second? All right. That's it. There you go, Nathan. And then as always, hold your feet, get on out. Thank you all.
Email did go out, but I think they talked to us before they even left that night.